Hello. Okay, we've talked about functions. Now we want to talk about function notation. So notation is the fancy word that math people use to talk about how we represent things written down. Okay, so for function notation, you've probably seen this. Y equals f of x defines a function named f. And again, by convention, we usually call functions f. The way we say this is y is a function of x. So x in this case represents the input value or the independent variable, and y, or f of x, represents the output value or dependent variable. So again, hopefully this is something that you've seen before. So let's just do a few quick examples using this. So first, use function notation to represent height is a function of age. All right. Okay, I think you can see the screen. So we want to represent height as a function of age. So the first thing we need to do is define what our variables are. So we've got height. I'm going to call that h. And we've got age. Do you want to call that a? We could call them x or y. But in this case, let's just use these. We want height is a function of age. So height, we could say, is a function of age, right? And we'd read this f of a, or height is a function of age. Here, second question. Use function notation to represent a function whose input is the name of a month and output is the number of days in that month. Okay, so why don't you think about how you do that just real quick? I'll show you the answer in a minute. You could pause the video, write it down if you want, or you can think in your mind. Dun, da, da, da. So in this case, we could use the output, the number of days in the month, is a function of the input, which in this case is the name January, right? So functions, like in math, we usually use numbers, but they don't have to be numbers, right? In this case, our input is the name of a month, and that works. Okay, and lastly, let's just think, what if we had this? A function, n is a function of y, gives the number of police officers, n, so this n here is the number of police officers in a town in year y. Okay, so our input is the year, the output is the number of police officers. So what does this expression here represent? F of 2005 equals 300. Well, that would say, okay, in year 2005, that's our input. We put it into the function and out comes 300, which is n, the number of police officers in town in year y.